So speaking on Andrew Schultz, he had Logan Paul on his podcast, on the Flagrant podcast. And Logan Paul's been kind of hinting at this a lot, but he's kind of basically said it really directly on the show that Floyd Mayweather had never paid him for the fight that they had, which is interesting because I didn't realize that Floyd was the one kind of controlling the whole exhibition, and he was the one responsible to pay everybody. So I imagine they were both kind of working with a third party who would then kind of pay them out, right? So what's interesting about this one is that they were talking about if Logan Paul tries to take Floyd to court, that probably is going to cost him so much fighting in court that it's going to be like not worth it anyways, right? But the amount of publicity that Logan Paul is going to get throughout that process and how it's making Floyd look bad, I think, right? That is kind of making him seem like, he's not a fair business person. Let's just say that, right? That part's interesting, but also that, I guess Logan Paul didn't really look at the fine print of the contract. There's something about it within the contract that Floyd seems to think that he does not need to pay Logan Paul, I think. That's my understanding of kind of hearing about the story. So there's this whole contract law dispute, which is just kind of falls into business in general, just knowing kind of what's going on there. But maybe he was so excited just to be able to fight Floyd and kind of the publicity he would get from that he never really kind of looked into it that much. But I still think that he got so much publicity from being able to do that fight that even if he doesn't get paid, he still comes out a winner, right? Of course he wants his money, but I just think that's interesting.
I don't buy this at all. I think it is. I think it's
really?
Just the continuation of the hype that two fighters will always do to keep the attention on them.
No way. Do you think it's leading to another fight?
If not, at least it is a fight in itself. We're talking about it here. It's a big amount of money. I was just doing a bit of research into this too. This article, I'll share it with you guys, but if it's to believed, he earned around 700 million pounds in total for the fight with Paul. And that's a lot of money. So I can't imagine that no matter how much free publicity Paul's getting from this, Logan Paul, there's no way, even 10% of whatever the takings are, it could be 70 million, could be 7 million. It's no small amount of money. So I think it's going to come through. I mean, who knows back and forth what's really going on. But I think, A, this is a publicity stunt that's continuing. B, I think he's going to get his money. I don't think it's 700 million in total that they split. I'm sure there's a lot of other people taking a cut out of that money. But
I don't think he's going to get his money.
I think he will.
No way.
We should follow up on this one for part two, Matt. I think he's going to get it. Because I will. I can't imagine, even if he gets it through courts, it's pretty clear he did something. He should get paid, Right.
Well, it says...
Yeah, but Mayweather is pretty savvy. And I think when I listened to that YouTube interview where he's talking, he's like, well, the contract and being in the boxing realm, he basically sounded like effectively he had earmarked out certain expenses. And I'm sure Mayweather, being a great businessman, was able to funnel money into expenses that he kind of controlled.
So you think he just broke even,
So
right?
I bet it's probably...
Like
oh, well, I mean, maybe on paper he did. What I'm saying is he prepaid him. I don't know. I mean, allegedly, but he's pretty savvy that way. And I bet that I also don't see Mayweather as being the kind of person to make a mistake on those kind of contracts. If he's gonna funnel the money into these things, I'll be surprised if anything happens with the court case. You know what I mean? I bet he's got it pretty locked down tight. So again, I'm kind of with you, Yaro. Yes and no on it, because I think it seems like more of a publicity stunt. I would imagine Mayweather's contract law is on point when it comes to these kind of events, because his gates for what Pacquiao was half $500 million. McGregor was half a billion. He knows how to run these promotions and how to make a lot of money from them. So I don't know, just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think that the contract is probably the way it is just the way it is, and probably Logan never, I don't know, maybe didn't look into it or whatever. But I highly doubt, because he said before that this has been an ongoing issue. I mean, this fight was so long ago, and he told him a long time ago, hey, if you don't pay me, basically he's gonna like go public with a story. And I think this makes Floyd look really bad, but maybe Floyd wants to be the bad guy, right? Because the next time he has a fight, you want to see him get his ass kicked, right? So you're right now. Actually, now you're pointing this out. It seems like everything that the Paul brothers do is always just to create more drama and get more people talking about them. Because now, yes, we're talking about this. A lot of people are talking about this because it's very interesting. It's basically reminding everybody that Logan Paul fought Floyd, right? It's keeping that story going, right? And yeah, they are basically still battling. It would be very interesting if they fought again over this, where he's like, hey, fine, you want to get paid, let's do another one, and I'm going to knock you out, right? That that could be, I don't know, but I don't know.
I just want to say
one.
that I'm not getting paid to be on this podcast, so there might be some controversy there as well. So.
What do you mean? We're going to get
not paying me anything, and
yeah. So hey, it says here that he was supposed to get paid $5 million. That was the right number. So it's weird too that if Floyd's got a lot of money, why would he jip him for $5 million? The whole thing's kind of weird.
Because he's a businessman. he's in the shadiest sport in the world, in the universe. Everybody knows it, right? That boxing is bar none has probably the most corruption of any sport. I mean, that's maybe arguable.
Really?
Maybe I
didn't know that.
Consistently the most corrupt. So I think Mayweather's just a good businessman in the realm that he is in, and maybe he's and what Logan was alluding to or alleging was that he had fleeced others, and that he had done this with others, and so this isn't the first time. I thought that was kind of interesting. I think though Mayweather could probably care less, and again I think he understands the nature, which is kind of coming back to what Yaro was saying. Any news is good news, or any press is good press. Like even if it's negative, even if he's the bad guy, it's like it's money for him. At the end of the day. And it was funny because he's like, oh, Mayweather's broke. It's like, I'm sure on paper he is broke, because if he's smart, he's funneled all his money into things so he doesn't have to pay taxes on any of this stuff. Like, good on him. So he's broke on paper, but he's obviously not,
I heard Logan on his podcast talking about his desire to still win a fight. Like, I don't think he's actually won one. It's all been losses or draws. I'm not up to date with it, but and then he talked about how when he was on WrestleMania, he made more money. It was a lot safer. He enjoyed it, just as much.
Fun. He just signed a deal with
which
with
doesn't
WWE.
surprise me. But he was like,
is that what it's called now? WWE.
WWE,
whatever.
yeah.
WWE,
World Wildlife
Almost
Federation.
the
Yeah, he's going to save the animals. That's right.
yeah, that's right.
But yeah, he talked about there is something about wanting to get that win. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, God, we can be such looking for conspiracies here, but he went all 8 rounds fighting, the heavyweight most famous champion boxer ever, and this guy doesn't even come from boxing. If that was legitimate, like there wasn't some sort of WWE style setup to the fight, then back of his mind, he must be thinking, well, okay, I can surely actually win some of these boxing matches. Maybe I can actually, even retire with a winning record at least before I move on to WWE or something like that. But as was being said to him, I can't remember who it was talking to him. I think it might have been Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank was saying how, you're going to get brain damage. It's a high risk, high reward sort of sport. So is it worth it? You're going to lose your potential to continue to live a normal life after that. But
right.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to fight either of you guys. Just to be clear, I'm happy not to get paid. I'm pacifist. So.
What if it was for $5 million? $5 million.
Sign me up. I'll fight anybody.
I'll fight both of you at once for $5 million.
I'll fight Logan Paul and Mayweather at the same time.
Well, you're just gonna fall over as soon as you get hit. That's what
Oh no, man! I'll be in it to win it. I'll train. I'll record the whole thing. That would be my foray into the YouTube. It would be my behind the scenes training camp for that. I would absolutely do that. I think that
Tom
would be funny
was in the military.
Yeah. I boxed in college too, so I guess I have a little bit of experience. But I would absolutely love to do it. I think this stuff is hilarious. Like I was talking to you about this last week, Matt. I didn't mention this, but this Happy Punch promotion. So I got this on my screen, but this was started a year ago, I think, or maybe codified this year. but it's all about these content creators. It's like a promotion company for content creators for boxing. And I think it reminds me of like, remember the celebrity boxing matches like 10, 20 years ago? You get like, I don't know, Mickey Rourke or whatever and whoever. And it was like,
Oh, no, I don't know that.
yeah, it was this big thing for like, I think in the 80s and early 90s or something like that.
Oh.
You know,
Well, I know
you
because of
already know
Robot
what I'm talking
Chicken.
about.
Because you know Robot Chicken, like that
Yeah.
sort of clay animation show, and they do like their own fake
Yep.
celebrity death matches. So it's based on that, right?
There's a ton of money in this, like even like just like, and because these people have followings, like so that's why it's like I want to know who would you fight, Matt?
Like a marketing person?
Yeah, it has to be somebody in our space.
Oh, man.
I'd fight Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins, interesting. I think, like, I know Russell Brunson will probably kick a lot of ass because he's been wrestling for a long
He's a
time.
wrestler. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, I need somebody scrawny. I think I would probably go with, like, Brendan Burchard.
He's pretty small.
Yeah, I could take Brendan Burchard. Yaro, who's your matchup?
Man, you know, it's funny. I think about the answer to this question, and throughout my career as an internet marketer, people have come along.
Yannick Silver.
What, Yannick? Yeah, well,
Yeah,
maybe not
that's
Yannick.
what,
Yannick.
yeah.
No,
Is
no,
yeah. Yeah. You guys have
We
a kind
only
of
have the same name. I'm not gonna beat him up because he has a YS and I'm a YS too. But plus he's huge. I don't know if he stand a chance. He's pretty
Is
big.
he? Yeah, I guess he's kind of big. Yeah.
But you know, there's always been like someone who's come along and done what you did better. Like I remember, you know, Pat Flynn comes along and he starts blogging and podcasting and has a bigger audience. And then like, I don't want to fight Lewis Howes because he's also huge. But Lewis comes along and boom, takes off with the podcast. You know.
So you're going with Pat Flynn.
I mean,
eh?
Pat Flynn's
Yeah,
pretty
you gotta fight Pat
small,
Flynn.
so I kind of worry though because
You know what?
he's
Actually,
pretty fit though. He does train a lot, but yeah.
sorry. Go. You know who I would fight would be Ty Lopez, because
that'd be a good
I was
one.
doing my social media director training, teaching people how to start a career in social media, and it wasn't until Ty Lopez did his thing, which was like many years later, that all of a sudden it flooded the market with all these people teaching you how to start your own agency. I had been doing this for like 5 or 6 years at this point when he started that, and he made it like very popularized, right? I still remember the day that it launched. I was actually at Jeff Walker's launch con. I think I was with you, Tom. Weren't you there?
Yeah,
And
that's
then
right. That's where
people
we
were
met.
texting me. It was in October. I remember this. And then people were texting me. They're like, "Did you see what Ty Lopez lost?" Like I had like multiple people messaging me this. And then I looked at it. And I was like, "Oh shit!" And then like, you know, I was like, now it's like an open market. And it kind of killed my vibe for like before. It was like a unique offering
That's
that I
great
had.
because you got some beef, and that's what sells a
what you
fight. So that's great.
Yeah.
we need to.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to start DMing Ty Lopez right now,
Yeah.
saying that Matt wants to fight
I
him.
will fight, but he is fucking, excuse my language, but he is jacked. So I'm pretty sure. But he's short, right? He's short. So I think if I have like 6 months to train, then
Yeah, I'll train you.
then
I'll
I
be
think
your trainer.
Then I
I'll
think
come
I have
out.
a pretty
We'll do
good
a whole
chance.
camp.
Since we're
Yeah.
sharing people who kind of jumped in our space, I own the domain name 2hourworkday.com. So you can have a guess who came out with a certain book and stole my thunder before I
Oh, you mean you had it? You had
had
it before?
before the 4-hour work week. So I remember like going, yeah, this is going to be a digital nomad, you know, travel, perfect, 2 hours a day running your business. And then this book comes out, 4-hour work week, and I'm like, and of course it took off as we all know. Yeah, and Tim,
Damn.
This what is it? The 7 minute, was it 7 minute abs? And it's like 70-second
Yeah,
abs
right.
or
I always
something
do
like
something
that.
less.
Everybody's always trying
yeah,
to.
although
one-up.
mine was actually more. It was 2 hours a day. He was 4 hours a week. So technically his was less hours, but
That's good.
it's
true.
Yeah, it's funny when someone comes out and actually does so much better. I shouldn't say it's funny. It's soul crushing sometimes because you're like, wow, I do feel like I could have taught, or certainly I'm capable of teaching the same thing, but they just did better marketing. You know, they had better marketing at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
And also partnerships,
that's
connection,
all better marketing, right?
right? That sort of thing. Well, yeah.
I mean, if you put
it's,
if
maybe
you
not
put
as
a
much
book
marketing,
and you put
it's like,
you know the chutzpah, like Tim was strategic, going to conferences to meet bloggers, knowing that he was going to get them all to
Right.
talk about his book. It's like a big
Oh,
rollout
yeah.
plan from the very beginning. And don't get me wrong, I love
that's
Tim.
right. He did a lot of
He's very smart,
Yeah,
and he's
he
also
I haven't heard-
he's a
I haven't
previous
heard any,
wrestler
like-
too. So I'm not going to fight with him either. You know.
Well, he also,
I think he would kick
and I
your
think
ass, yeah.
according to his book, he was like he in Thailand or something like that. Didn't he do some like
Yeah, yeah.
professional Thai
Yeah,
fights or something
Thai
like that
fighting,
in
and I
one?
think-
So he'd be. Yeah.
He'd be like a multidisciplinary ninja kind of guy. So I don't think I would have a go. And he was
This
he
would
was a
be great,
bouncer
though.
once too. So yeah, no.
Yaro versus Tim, Matt versus.
You know what we could do?
I like this,
what we'll
this
do
lineup.
is we'll just try to get like Tim Ferriss and Ty Lopez. Just like we'll make them start beef with each other. We'll just start rumors that they're talking shit about each other. So they fight each other, and then they both get their ass kicked, and we
get the money.
I mean,
As long as we get the pay game.
we
get
have
the ticket-
yeah,
ticket
we
game.
get the
Floyd Mayweather contract, so we get the money out of it.
yeah. We'll go figure out
Somewhere.
what was in that contract.
Little fine print. And Matt and Yaro and Tom get all the money from your fight. Tick box.
That's right.
If you don't tick this box, then all your money goes to these guys.
I think, but just to close it out, though, I will say that I think
Yeah.
something like that is an underrated opportunity. If anybody would, I'm excited to explore it. So start DMing Tim to fight Yaro, and let's see what happens.
Well, you know how conferences, right? They get these guest speakers, celebrities, right? Imagine you go to like the next like 10X conference, but it's Ty Lopez versus Tim Ferriss.
That's right.
People would go wild, right? So I think you're right. I think if we set up a fight at one of these conferences,
I think a lot of people would like to see Ty get beat up too. It's kind of sad to say, but
Yeah.
it's probably he's the villain.
well, that's why you always need the bad guy.
You need the
Yeah,
villain.
the villain. Yeah,
But-
exactly. But the other one too would be like Dan Locke. Dan Locke would kick some ass too,
another
right?
potential villain.
Oh, that would be
kinda
great.
ninja.
I think, like you just said before, though, Matt, or was you, Tom? This is the thing. Like, there's an agency now that's specializing in pulling creators, not internet marketing so much as mainstream
Yeah.
YouTubers, right? And actually setting up fights, and it's like an income stream. It's a new income stream for a creator. Get into a fight with another creator.
Right. That'd be fun. I feel like I would really do it if I was like,
Yeah,
given the opportunity.
Yeah, and the thing is, it looks like, it doesn't have to be pro fight, like the light gloves or whatever. You could do probably the headgear route, I think. I mean, whatever. It seems like they've done it a couple different ways in the last few years. So, like, I'm sure there's a lot of opportunities. And just get in the ring once, it's like, I think there's a lot of potential here. I think we need to keep exploring this.
What I would be interested in is being able to just train for like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah,
To me, I would love that. Like you get a big payday, so you're like could just take 6 months to just train, and then do the fight, whatever.
I played
think
tennis
cool.
in
move
university.
on.
I'm not getting into a boxing ring. I'll do a celebrity tennis match though, no problem.
Ooh,